Yo, what's going on, guys? And Nassir Little is signing a 1-year deal with the Miami Heat. This is coming from Chris Haynes. We don't know if it's non-guaranteed or fully guaranteed. I would not be surprised if it's a guaranteed deal, but Nassir Little is a guy who spent last year with the Suns. His contract, I'm surprised that his deal was of decent value, but I understand why nobody picked it up because it was a bit more money than Nas Little had lived up to, and it was his rookie extension, which brings on its own financial problems. When you have a guy on a rookie extension, you can't use it in a trade for other players with rookie extensions of similar size. It's weird. I know it's for max. Either way, just the way it looks is you'd assume this roster now: Bam Adebayo, Nikola Jovic, Nikola Jovic, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier, Josh Richardson, Duncan Robinson, Haywood Highsmith, Jaime Jaquez, Kevin Love, Naz Little, Al Burks, Khalil Ware, Thomas Bryant, and Pele Larson make up the 15 guaranteed rosters. And then you have your 3 two-ways in Drew Smith, Keyshawn Johnson, Josh Christopher with Zion Poland, Isaiah Stevens probably fighting for one of those two-ways. So the fact that their guard spot, yeah, they don't have a true point guard, but between their guards and wings, they have Rozier, Hero, Butler, Richardson, Robinson, Haywood Highsmith, Burks, Little, Pele Larson, and Jaime Jaquez. And I know Jaime Jaquez and Jimmy Butler are both forwards, but they can also play shooting guard if necessary. So the positional versatility that they've given themselves by bringing in Nassir Little is huge. And he's a guy that last year he barely played 10 minutes a night, 3 points, about 1.5 rebounds and assists. His best season came in 21 to 22 when he played 42 games. And he's a guy who's never played more than 54 games. He had just under 10 points, 6 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and he was about just under a block and a steal game. But he's a guy for his career as a 16-minute a night guy. And last year, he shot 45% from the field. But for his career, he is a guy who's a 45% field goal shooter, 33% from three, and just about half a block, half a steal, and 5.5 points. It's not a crazy stat line, but he is young. He's long. He's a guy who's kind of a slasher, 6'5", 6'6". He's got a decent feel for the game. He's not a great shooter, and he's kind of raw as a ball handler, but he can defend as he's 6'6" with a 7'1" wingspan. So for me, when I look at this situation, I just see it as a good one for a guy like Nassir to rebuild his value on the Miami Heat, where he's going to probably be a part of the bottom of the rotation, probably the 12th or 13th guy on this team. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but that's kind of the guy he is currently. And there's nothing wrong with it. Some guys he's more of a role player and he's a defensive slasher. And I think going to a team like Miami is going to allow him to have his 3-point shot maybe untapped. And the thing is Nassir Little has never been a guy who I would sit here and be like, oh, he's going to set the world on fire with his shooting ability. No, because I'd be lying if I said that. He's a guy who is going to be someone that maybe if he follows kind of like a Derrick Jones Jr. timeline, maybe then he can find himself a situation where he can be like this athletic defensive guy at first, and then as he slowly builds up the trust of his team, he can maybe become this good 3-point shooter, or decent 3-point shooter, and then work on his scoring. I really do believe that he is a guy that, with time, I think there is a place for him to improve and make himself better. It all comes down to, personally, I think if you go out and you just look at a team with the Heat, where if an injury happens, look at Haywood Highsmith. He's another guy that I think he could follow the similar development, where be a slasher, a transition guy, finish plays efficiently, and then let's go ahead and then talk about maybe you being a guy who could fix on his offensive game. I just feel like that's something that people are going to act like is a tall task, but I really don't think it is. And I think Nassir Little, a guy who wasn't he a lottery pick, or he was just almost a lottery pick? There was a reason for that, because of his athleticism and of what he's capable of. So for me, when I look at a guy like him, I think there is a place for him in the league. So I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Do you guys agree with me? But that's it.